forecast first.
Good afternoon and happy first day of fall. It's looking like a pleasant afternoon as we look at downtown Terre Haute on our Graber Post Building's weather cam. Now looking ahead, the temperatures right now in Terre Haute and across the valley are pretty pleasant. We're looking at 73 degrees right now. It's a little warmer over to the north of us in Paris. And then we're going to take a look into the rest of our day. So it's going to be a pretty pleasant start of fall, as I mentioned earlier. But it'll start to feel more cooler as the temperatures lower when the sun goes down. We'll have more on your full forecast in just a bit. Your news starts right now.
This is local news that matters. You're watching WAWV News at Noon.
A sixth federal death row inmate is scheduled to be executed today in Terre Haute. And a national civic holiday has the goal of getting you registered to vote. Also, harvest season is here and road safety is top of mind. Good afternoon and thank you for joining us. I'm Taylor Johnson. Another execution is scheduled to happen tonight at the Terre Haute Federal Prison. This will be the sixth federal death row inmate to be executed this year. The person being executed is William LaCroix of Georgia. LaCroix was convicted of raping and killing a 30-year-old nurse, Joanna Lee Teisler, in 2001. LaCroix says an obsession with witchcraft led him to kill the woman. He claims he did it to lift a spell he believes she put on him. Recently, lawyers asked President Trump to commute LaCroix's sentence to life in prison. They say LaCroix's brother died in 2010, so the death of another son would devastate LaCroix's family. A second execution is scheduled to happen later this week on Thursday. And an Illinois man has died after a car crashed into a tree and split in half over the weekend in Vigo County. According to the Vigo County Sheriff's Office, the crash happened around 7:15 Saturday morning. It was in the area of U.S. Highway 150 in Libertyville. They say deputies found a car driven by Raymond Ribka of Orlando Park, Illinois. It left the roadway. They're not sure what led to the crash, but they say Ribka hit a tree, causing the car to split. The investigation is ongoing. And today is National Voter Registration Day. The day is celebrated the fourth Tuesday of every September. The goal of National Voter Registration Day is to focus on making sure everyone has a chance to cast their ballot. Volunteers across the country will be working to get unregistered voters signed up. In the past, as many as 3 million people registered to vote on National Voter Registration Day. Now, as a reminder, early voting in Illinois is only 2 days away, September 24th, and early voting in Indiana is right around the corner on October 6th. Now, for information on how you can get registered to vote, you can visit our website, mywabashvalley.com. If you're an Illinois voter who tried getting registered yesterday, you may have run into a problem. The voter registration website at the Illinois State Board of Elections crashed Monday, but it wasn't down for long. The site was restored about an hour later. Now, a spokesman said the crash was not related to a cyber attack. They say the website experienced heavy traffic with roughly 3 times more visitors than they usually do. And a Hoosier is one of the front runners to fill the vacant U.S. Supreme Court seat. Some Republicans, including Indiana U.S. Senator Mike Braun, believe this position could be filled before the election. Our Kayla Sullivan talked to political experts about whether that's possible.
It seems unlikely that this could actually happen before the election. There are a lot of hurdles that would have to be crossed.
It's difficult to say if the U.S. Senate will end up voting on a Supreme Court pick before the November 3rd election, but many Republicans, including Indiana Senator Mike Braun, say it's worth a try.
If Senate Republicans wait until after November, and should the president not win re-election, which is a possibility, there are some Republicans in purple states that may think, we're not going to vote for this pick, this controversial pick.
One of the frontrunners to be picked is Indiana Notre Dame law professor, U.S. Court of Appeals Judge Amy Coney Barrett. Chief Justice John Roberts is also from Indiana.
Hoosiers are making an impact on the national stage, and that's no surprise to many of us here in the state.
48-year-old Barrett has a history of ruling in favor of Trump's immigration policies and supported expanding gun rights. Abortion rights groups have expressed concern about some of her abortion-related votes. Her strong Catholic ties and her stance on the Affordable Care Act are expected to be be questioned during confirmation if chosen.
What's also fascinating here is you have the Democratic vice presidential pick, Senator Kamala Harris, on the Judiciary Committee. So she's going to really take a star turn in questioning Amy Coney Barrett. So I think that'll be a fascinating thing to watch.
From the Indiana State House, I'm Kayla Sullivan.
President Donald Trump is expected to announce his choice later this week. And several roads in Shelburne will be closed starting today for some improvements as part of the Indiana Department of Transportation's Community Crossing Grant program. Shelburne was awarded nearly $500,000. Affected roads include Mill Street, Thomas Street, and Griffith Street. A full list of closures can be found on our website. Shelburne residents are reminded not to park along these streets and to make sure that trash bins are on the sidewalk and off the roads. Today also marks the first official day of fall, and that means harvest season is upon us. This week also marks National Farm Safety and Health Week. According to representatives with the Indiana Farm Bureau, one of the biggest concerns for farmers each fall is their safety and the safety of others on rural roads. Indiana farmers ask people to be on alert and expect to encounter farm equipment on rural roads this fall. Also, always assume a farmer can't see your vehicle, as their vehicle equipment has several blind spots. If a farmer waves you on, you can slowly pass the farm equipment, but don't try to pass them on a narrow road without their acknowledgement. And the federal government just announced a $14 billion round of aid for farmers impacted by COVID-19. The Department of Agriculture is distributing the funds worth up to $500,000 per farm. President Trump's agricultural secretary, Sonny Perdue, visited Springfield, Illinois, where this coronavirus food assistance program is helping farmers through these tough times.
Pretty quickly, the schools shut down. And so that's a big chunk of our business. And not only that, these kids now don't have milk.
COVID-19 hit dairy farmers and distributors hard, not only exposing workers to risk on the job, but forcing customers to stay home. Prairie Farms General Manager Pat Callahan says government contracts to buy their milk helped his company survive uncertain times. Federal records show the first contract was for $27 million.
It keeps us open. It absolutely does, yeah. It keeps us afloat. Because if we'd have lost all this business and not been able to do something to replace that, we'd have been in pretty dire straits.
The Department of Agriculture awarded $4 billion in contracts nationwide to prop up farmers and distributors.
And any farmer in America would rather have a check across the scales or for the produce they grow rather than a government check.
Agriculture Secretary Sonny Perdue visited Springfield's Boys and Girls Club Monday morning to help give out boxes of food.
We'd rather have people have jobs and not to need the government help. Farmers would rather have that as well. So we hope we can transition off this and step down in the near future when things become back what normal is.
It means a lot to me because I lost my son. So it's for the pandemic, so we're going to have a gathering, so I think it'll help feed the widows in my gathering.
I think that this is really important. I mean, it's helping a lot of us that, just can't get out and do and shop the way that we usually can do because of this corona.
It means a lot, believe me, there's so many that need the assistance right now, especially.
This is the spirit of America.
Some great work being done there. Now, officials in Illinois say they've given out 400,000 pounds of free food in the last month alone. Over the weekend, high school athletes across Illinois, including some in Paris, called on the state to let them play fall sports. Governor J.B. Pritzker is still defending his decision to delay the start of contact sports. The governor responded to calls from hundreds of coaches and athletes who rallied at the Capitol and around the state this weekend. Pritzker pointed out some non-contact sports have already resumed, and local school districts can't afford the same kind of protection pro and college sports have in place.
There's a bubble around many of these teams, so they're not interacting with members of the public. I mean, that's a lot different in high schools across the state of Illinois. High schools can't afford to do that kind of thing.
The governor did say expanded COVID-19 testing could play a role in helping to bring high school sports back. Right now, Illinois averages more than 52,000 tests per day, which is third best nationwide. And a new center for those in the LGBTQ plus community is making its way to Terre Haute. Pride Center of Terre Haute will be located on Wabash Avenue. It will provide educational, social, and health resources for those in the LGBTQ plus community and their allies. The center is currently working to develop a community assessment. It will allow center leaders to provide specific programming and resources based on needs in the area. The Pride Center's executive director says they want to provide community for everyone.
I've been an advocate for this community my entire life, and it's needed. We're in a day and age right now where we need to talk. We need to develop relationships. We need to develop relationships with each other so that we can build empathy with one another and you know, deconstruct the hatred that's been going on in this country.
The center also recently established a board of directors that will focus on all topics ranging from finances to mental health and wellness. Coming up on WAWV News at noon, you will hear from the Tiger Queen as she graces the Dancing with the Stars floor.